Hello BFs, welcome to my channel Bestfriends. Please tap on the subscription button if you're just joining us for the first time, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for joining us again. Please turn on the notification bell for this channel so you'll be the first to be notified whenever I make a post. This tutorial is a replica of the right gather trouser I posted earlier. Best friend, here's a tutorial. The fabric I'll be using for this particular recreation is a Duchess fabric. Meanwhile, the red I use a crepe fabric. So one side of my Duchess fabric is a bit shining, and I'm going to be making use of 3.5 yards. The necessary measurement that will be needed is our waist, our crotch depth, and the full length of our trouser. So for the waist, the circumference I'm using is 28.5. I'm going to divide it by 4. My answer is about 7.125. While the crotch depth is your hips divided by 4 plus 1. My hips is 42, divide by 4 give me 10.5 plus 1. Everything was 11.5. And then the full length of the trouser I'll be using is 46 plus 2 inch for our hemming allowance. To know the amount of fabric to put on fold, divide your hips by 4 inch. Mine gave me 10.5 times it by 3. This is if you want a very full gathers and have enough fabric, which unfortunately I do not have. Please multiply your result by 3. I have just 3.5 here, so I'll multiply my result by 2.5. That is 10.5 times 2.5, which is going to give me approximately 27 inches. Let's put our fabric on fold. I've gone ahead to do that, and this is just to confirm that it's accurate. My fabric is going to be 27 inch and it's on fold. Then next, I'm going to go ahead and mark my horizontal measurement. I'll be taking out 1 inch for my waistband, and then I'm going to go ahead to mark my crotch depth, which we've already calculated, and it was 11.5. Once I'm done with that, I'll go ahead and mark the full length of my trouser, which was 46, and 2 inch for hemming allowance. So from this crotch line, I'm going to go in by 2 inches and mark. So I'm also going to go inward from my waistline and mark 2 inch, then roll it out with a straight ruler. Then I'll also use my curve rule and make it curve, just as you can see me do. The next thing is I'm going to go ahead and cut. We are done with this crotch side, so now just shift my material. I'm just extending my crotch depth. So on my waistline, I'm going to come in by 1.5, and then I'm going to use my straight ruler and connect that 1.5 to the crotch line, just as you see me do right now. Then I'll do the same thing at the hem of the trouser. I'll go in by 1.5, then I'll use my straight ruler and connect it to my crotch line. Then once I'm done with that, I'll go ahead and cut out everything I have marked. And we are done with the front piece of our trouser. Now let's cut the back. To know the amount of fabric you'll be using for the back piece of the trouser, you are going to divide your hips by 4. The answer, you times it by 2.5, just as what you did with the front piece. For the back piece, we are going to be adding 3 extra inches. My final result was 30 inch, which is what I put the fabric on fold. Then I placed my front piece on my back piece. The back side of the front piece should be aligning with the back side of this back piece, and then this crotch side, which is what you see me do right now, I'm going to come out by 1 inch, and then at this crotch line, remember we kept extra 3 inches, so that's where you're going to mark the 3 inches you kept for the back piece. So once I'm done marking that, and I went ahead to come out by 1.5 inch at the lower side, and then I drew my straight line. Once I was done with that, I just made a curve to meet the front crotch line, and I went ahead to cut out everything. Please watch carefully and you understand what I'm doing. I'm done cutting everything. I'll take this back piece to my machine and sew it 1/2 inch, just as you see me directing. I'll do the same thing with the front piece too. I'm done sewing with 1/2 inch. So right now, I divided my waist by 4. 1/4 of it is what I'm going to pleat to one side of my trouser. So let me put this in simpler form. You divide your waist by 2. Whatever result you get, you divide it by 2 again. So let's say after dividing it by 2, your answer is 7.5. You make sure you pleat it to get 7.5. I marked out 1 inch. That is going to be my allowance, which I'm going to use to seal the sides of the trouser.
It's growing too strong for
I've gotten my 7.12. So towards my left, I'm going to continue pleating it again until I get another 7.12. So my total waist circumference for this front piece alone is going to be 14.2. Once I was done, I'll take it to my machine and sew just as the way I'm directing. Make sure the pleats are all going towards the same direction. I'll do the same thing with the back piece. This is it. I'm going to go ahead and cut 4 pieces of fabric for my pocket. So the measurements I use for this piece are 10 by 10 inches. I'm just going to check the measurements again to confirm it. This is 10 inches and this is 10 inches. At one end, I'm going to come in by 2 inches and then use my curve ruler, curve it to the end. The whole idea behind this is just to give the pocket a nice curve. So just fix yours directly without going through the stress. So on my trouser, I'm going to come down by 4 inches. You can come down by 2 inch, by 3 inch, depending on how you want it. So I just went ahead to match both sides equally, and then I'll use my scissors and notch the 4-inch mark that I gave it on one side. This is so that it's going to be equal when I'm fixing the pocket. I took one piece of my pocket to attach to the trouser. I started from the notch I made. I used the side that is 2 inch short. So that means my pocket width is going to be about 8 to 6 inches by the time I'm done sewing. So I'll just pin it down and I'm going to take it to the machine and sew with 1/2 inch. This 1/2 inch I'm marking right now. Once I'm done sewing it, I will top stitch on it. So I'm going to do the same thing to the back piece. I'll pin the pocket to it and take it to the machine, sew 1/2 inch before bringing them to mesh them together just as the way you see me do right now. And then I'm going to start sewing from the waist with 1 inches down to the pocket. I'm going to sew in the pocket with 1 inch too. So this 1 inch is going to be to the end of the trouser. At this crotch depth, I'm going to be sewing with 1/2 inch from the midpoint to the hem of the trouser, and then from the other midpoint to the end of the trouser. I'm going to be sewing it with 1/2 inch. So next is to cut our band. I cut a band of 2.5 inch, but at the end of the day, my band is going to be 1.5 inch. I'm just going to use 1 inch for sewing allowance. The length of my band is 28.5 inch plus sewing allowance. So I'm going to take everything to my machine now, sew, and come back and show you guys the result. Now this is everything. I've gone ahead to sew it. Also, I've sewn the pocket, sewn the sides, sewn the crotch depth with the 1/2 inch I told you guys I was going to sew. And then I also attached the waistband, one side of the waistband to the trouser. Now I want to show you guys a hack that I used to have a neat finishing at my zipper area. So I noticed I've already attached one end of the band and then I've ironed it to have a very nice crease line. I'm going to bring my zipper and attach it the correct way with the tip of my zipper, that's the iron or plastic pad, directly on that crease line that I saw. That's the midpoint of my waistband. So I will now push in the head, like the tip that is protruding. Now turn my band inward and sew it, like the right side facing the right side, and sew it, then push it out just the way you see me do right now. Please pay attention so you get what I'm saying. If you look carefully, you will really get this. And if you get this and try it, you're going to be having very neat finishing at that zipper area. So once you're done turning it, you now top stitch on the right side of the zipper. It will not be matching on the wrong side. Now that wrong side, you've already folded in the excess allowance as remaining. So now this is it that I just brought back to show you guys once I was done sewing everything. I also went ahead to use my weaving machine to weave the inner part of my trouser. This is to stop the fabric from fraying. Look how beautiful my trouser is looking. This is the right side of my pocket. Gosh, this trouser is beautiful. So this is the crotch depth and this is our trouser. We are done. Please like this video, give it a thumbs up, and share with your friends if you found it helpful. Thank you so much. I love you guys. Bye.